As a neurodivergent, I often feel pulled between the impulse to say yes to social invitations and to say no to manage my own needs. And I know that if I say no, there's a possibility that the invitation won't come again, that people are going to see me as somebody who never accepts invitations, and they'll feel very futile about it and they'll just stop extending them. Now, I do want to say yes to all social invitations, but I also know realistically there are limitations to my capacity to deal with whatever that might entail. Someone might invite me to go to a concert, and I know that the noise levels are going to be too much for me, the crowds are going to be too much for me. Somebody might invite me to a restaurant, and then the wall of noise from all people talking and my sensory processing disorder will make it impossible to hear and understand them. I also know that I have limited reserves of energy. This is spoon theory I'm talking about here. I have limited spoons. And by the time that the person wants to meet up with me, let's say a weeknight or on a weekend, I'm out of spoons. The task of just managing daily living and my job and my studies, that taxes me completely to the point that I want to spend most of my free time sleeping, decompressing, playing a video game, hanging out with my dogs, not engaging in social interaction. Now, I find social interaction stimulating. I don't necessarily find it restorative. My solo activities as an introvert is how I restore. That might be different if you're an extrovert. And of course, there's variance between people and what they find recharging. Personally speaking, social things are energizing and invigorating and fun, but they're not necessarily helping me with recharging. So I feel guilty when I say no to social invitations, and I also feel relieved when I don't get invited, and at the same time conflicted because I'm like, please invite me, please include me. I want to be, I want to be somebody of importance to you that you would invite to begin with, even if I don't necessarily say yes to the invitation. And now, yes, that's kind of a conundrum for the other person because they're like, well, I don't want to keep inviting you if you don't say yes and you're not interested in socially engaging with me. So I make it a general rule to try to say yes or to counter offer and be like, hey, I can't do that, but do you want to do this instead? Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a hike. Let's go do a low stakes activity that isn't going to bombard me sensorily or tax me when I'm already feeling taxed. And usually one-on-one, I can kind of engage with that person and hang out. It's not too draining. And there are some group environments like a group hike that I find okay because my interaction can be minimal if I so choose. I can go to the head of the line, I can drop to the back of the line. I don't have to necessarily socially engage so much, so it's not as taxing. So trying to find a balance is hard. What has been your experience? Have you been able to find that balance, or do you find that you often want to decline social engagements as a neurodivergent because you're too taxed? You don't have enough spoons left. There's not enough energy left in the energy bank. What have your experiences been like? I would love to hear from you.